Hello guys, welcome back to the Crew 2. I was just asking directions here on this Bikini Babe for the new events. Apparently it is a bit on the left here, it's called Everglades. So let's have a look. As every week, 2 new events happening. We're missing a part on this bike as well, but we'll see.
3, 2.
It's called the Italians, but you can use any cars. The name of these events is just, yeah. For the weekly event or so that they have given them a name, but it's not that they have restrictions or anything. Well, at least the AI are driving Italians. I see Ferraris, I see Maseratis, I see Lamborghinis. That was a race full of suspense, wasn't it? I mean, seriously. Ace mode. I'm missing a part. My bike is 271 out of 280. I haven't used any nitro during that whole run. And you still beat the AI. I think the ace mode difficulty in street race definitely needs to go up a little bit. That was for the Everglades, which is, yeah. It's good to see that part of the map used as well, but it's a bit of a boring race. Goes a bit left and right, and that's about it. As you can see, completed all 3 modes, so this was indeed ace mode that we were driving. Might have some more difficulties on the San Bernardino Mountains, which is the second track that I have added this week. Let's see, what are we going to change? We're going to change the controls and the settings and all that. Steering linearity, no, we cannot change that because we're on, you know. Keyboard, we cannot change anything, which gonna be a problem for sure on this track. No doubt about it. And I'm trying to find the gearbox. Sequential. Let's drive manual and see how that goes. Might help. This track here sort of going around the Everglades area. The other one here, San Bernardino Mountains. As you can see, it sort of goes zigzag through the mountains. Which I have a feeling is going to be a problem on this bike due to the lack of sharp steering and steering reaction with the keyboard. So I thought let's drive it manually and see if that helps. Oh yeah, this stage is during the night, but yeah, we know what the nights in this game are. They are basically brighter than a cloudy morning. Seems like I'm not the only one who has steering difficulties. Also the AI is not that great. Guess we have to use some nitro to keep up with this lot. as expected, we cannot win this because the bike does not steer sharp enough. Second gear for most of the corners. If you do third gear, you're up against the wall. So that thing slows down too much. Pretty simple. So let's do that again, shall we? This time we go on automatic. Oh, there is. I like this second track way more than the first one because that was a bit boring. This is more twisty and cornering, but yeah, as you can see, a bit of a problem. But yeah, we'll use a bit more nitro, that should do it. Almost made the corner. Full lock steering. Everglades and the San Bernardino Mountains. That's what it is. The two new tracks this week. The first one is a bit boring, the second one has a serious issue if you play with keyboard, as you could see. Obviously, you can mess about with pro settings and all that, but unless you're a mechanic, and just drive on the default settings. That's why I'm using this KTM bike, and also it's lacking a part. Just wanted to try that. As you see, it worked in the Everglades, not so much on this track. If I take something like the Brutality Dragster bike, and yeah, then they're probably not going to be on the picture. We need a sensitivity slider for keyboard as fast as possible, because as you can see, I had some comments last week in the YouTube video that I did there. Oh, it's not a problem, you can change the linearity. No, you cannot. As you can see on a keyboard, this thing is completely grayed out and we cannot change anything on this. So the only settings that we as keyboard player can change is pro settings. We can mess with those things and try to change the camber and all that kind of stuff to actually make cars and bikes turn on mountain runs like the San Bernardino Mountains. But I don't think that's the idea. These cars and bikes should turn properly, no matter if you play on a controller or a wheel or a keyboard. But yeah, the whole menu is developed for console and controllers. Also here in key mapping, same story. If you go over this here and you scroll through those things, you have L3 here. What is L3 on a keyboard? R3. What is R3 on a keyboard? No idea. Controller settings. The whole game is developed for controllers and console. That's also why we have a 60 FPS loss, because the consoles cannot handle more. Why we have a poor draw distance and so on. And the keyboard is also one of those things. No sensitivity slider, then you cannot do runs on a bike like you saw here, unless you play around with the camber and so. I haven't changed anything on this bike, so this thing is completely on stock settings, which sort of comes like that. And you cannot even change the camber on a bike, so you have to play around with probably with the grip of the tires and with the aero distribution to make them turn a bit sharper. And that more or less is the only thing that you can change. The rest is has to do with suspension. That's for jumps and bumps and stuff like that. So the only thing we can change is brake balance, aero, and grip of the tire. Play around with that, they might actually steer a little bit better. But it's not the idea, is it? These things need to be linearity, dead zone. Those things need to be dead zone, not so much, but the linearity and the clamping needs to be changeable also per keyboard, because these things do not steer sharp enough, as you just witnessed in 2 runs now, and I still haven't beat the AI. Nevertheless, Everglades, a bit of a boring track. San Bernardino Mountains is an interesting track if you take a car, probably, or one of the OP bikes who do actually steer. But not so much for the KTM. That's why I was using this one to more or less show you what the problem is with the keyboard. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.